Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a good morning. Oh, almost knocked my screen over here. It has been a while since I've been able to actually go live on my channel because I've been coughing so much and finally not coughing as much, finally feeling a lot better. I'm not 100%, but definitely at like 90, 95%. So I'm feeling really good and I'm thankful to Jesus and I'm thankful for all the prayers and man, it's been a wild ride with this sickness, man, and it just hasn't let up. And now it's finally starting to let up. And boy, man, am I thankful. I am ever thankful. So I'm sorry about my voice, from the coughing that I have had going on. Hopefully, as I start talking and exercising my voice, it'll get a little better as it goes on. Anyways, wanted to talk about all this airplane stuff that's going on and I wanted to start with, um, you know, what happened in Alaska, and I can't remember where in Alaska this happened, but this fighter jet out of nowhere, just dropped out of the sky. It looks like the pilot was able to eject before the plane hit, but it's interesting with everything that's kind of going on, that this had taken place. Check this video out. And that happened right there in Alaska. So that was before the DC helicopter plane crash, the day before actually, and then the DC helicopter plane crash took place. And I have some close-up footage of the DC helicopter plane crash. And I mean, before I show that, I think it's kind of interesting that, there was a lot of talk at first, and now there's not a lot of talk, but they're not denying the fact that the transponders were off. The helicopter was the Black Hawk was flying dark, so there was no communication whatsoever, and they weren't responding. Okay, and before this collision took place, actually there was another plane that this helicopter tried to hit, before they hit the one that they did. And I actually have the radar of a plane actually having to loop around to land again because of this helicopter getting in the way. Check this one out. Hold on. So when they came out, they were coming in for the landing, but then this helicopter was in the way, and so they circled back around and then landed again. I'll show you one more time. And that was a completely different plane than the one that actually had gotten hit. So they went way out and they were coming in straight for their landing at the DC airport. That's what DCA was stands for. And then as it was coming in, you know what I mean? They noticed this helicopter doing what it was doing, so they came out and they did a circle around, and then they came back around and were able to finally land the plane. But it's interesting. It's like it was like a seek and destroy mission, like a kamikaze mission. Like there is people that were saying the name of the pilot was this like transgender thing. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was. Their name was like Joe something or other. Like there's a rumor going around about that. This thing did post a video on social media stating, I'm alive and well. I wasn't on the helicopter. This is a complete fabrication and a lie. So I tend to believe that I lean closer towards the theory that Well, I'll give my theory in a second, but I'll show you the video, two different angles of the helicopter making contact with the plane, like actually connecting with the plane that it took out. And what's interesting is that, I mean, the lights on this plane are bright as bright can be. I mean, I've heard experts, say, "Oh, this is all normal." I'm sorry, for me, there's nothing about this is that's normal, and I'm not going to play it down at all. For one thing, I think it's terrible that lives were lost, and I forgot that there was a post that I saw, and I'm not, and I'm gonna say this all gobbledygook here, but there was 60 passengers on the plane, and then there was something about two other sixes in this that made like a 666 pertaining to this, and then they're going to land on airstrip 33, which I think is all kind of interesting and convenient to say the least. But the way that this helicopter just hits this plane with this bright light on it, and I mean, if you look at the water under beneath the plane, the light is so bright, so bright. Check this video out.
These videos
Hold on, I'm having trouble with my StreamYard.
These videos, obtained exclusively by CNN, show previously unseen angles of the collision between an American Airlines flight and a US Army Black Hawk helicopter. In the first video, the Black Hawk can be seen flying at speed over the Potomac from the left side of the screen. The American Airlines plane can be seen flying towards the airport before the two collide, causing a mid-air explosion and fall into the river. In a second video, you can see the Army helicopter and American Airlines plane travel toward each other. After the collision and subsequent explosion, the airliner can be seen spinning into the water, and the Black Hawk is also seen falling into the water.
I mean, how do you miss that? That plane had some bright lights on it. I mean, it's coming in for a landing. You know what I mean? They got to have their lights on to see the runway and all this stuff. I mean, they have their brightest lights on at that point. And I'm sorry, but it just doesn't set well with me. Now, what's interesting is I want to show this. This is a theory that I have of what was actually going on, that this had no pilot on it whatsoever. There is also rumors out there, and I'm saying rumors because I want to be accurate here. I don't want to present anything as fact that might not be, but they're saying that this helicopter took off from a residence, and that it was a residence of someone who was a national from some other Middle Eastern country. I don't know. That's a rumor, but I found it kind of interesting. But check this video.
Your eyes are not playing tricks on you. There's no pilot inside this helicopter. It's 2022, so let's face it, we're used to seeing all types of vehicles operate themselves. From cars to boats, drones, even motorcycles. But some people might say there's something a little ominous about seeing a military-grade helicopter flying without a pilot. This is part of a project from Lockheed Martin's subsidiary, Sikorsky, and DARPA. Now, if you're not familiar with DARPA, it's a research and development agency for the U.S. Department of Defense. And according to DARPA, this marked the first time a Black Hawk helicopter flew without anyone on board.
Isn't that interesting? They literally can do that. And Lockheed Martin, man, super secretive company, always has worked for the United States military industrial complex. Same with DARPA. DARPA's the same people that bring new monstrosities such as the Eater robot, EATR, I think is how they spell it. The Eater robot, man, that thing is, I won't even get into it here, but it's crazy. The mad scientists and what they're cooking up at DARPA. Okay, but needless to say, this is my theory on what actually took place. Because when I was first researching this, the night that it happened, the DC helicopter plane collision, All right. They were saying when they recovered the helicopter, there wasn't really any remnants of like pilots or anything like that. They might have changed their story later on, but initially they said, we didn't find anything really to identify anybody. And so that's what I'm like, man, that's kind of fishy, dude. Like, so could this have been an automated Black Hawk helicopter that was on a seek and destroy mission? To test something out for some reason. I don't know. Now there's nothing 100% guaranteed, but what I was told is that on the plane itself, there were some Russian nationals on there. All right. And so, I don't know who they were. I don't know if they were in politics or if they were in sports. Some people said it was like a figure skating team. I don't know about that. This is all a lot of hearsay, but my opinion of it is that it's fishy. Now, I will say this is a nobody this is a no disrespect to anybody. This is a no disrespect to anybody who's in the military or who is highly trained in aviation. But there's a couple of people that I've noticed that have been pretty open in kind of saying, "Oh, this is normal. These things happen. This happens all the time. This happened to me, 100 times during my 22,000 hours of flying and all this different stuff." And I'm sorry, I don't exactly trust people that are trained to take orders. You know what I mean? People that won't speak against the system because were once a part of the system. You know what I mean? Or someone who is, been employed by these companies who wouldn't speak out against these companies because they don't want to get sued or lose their pilot's license or anything like that. So people who are educated on the subject, I don't necessarily just take their word and it just changes my opinion. Okay, because someone who's educated said this is normal, I now have to believe this is normal. This is not my style. I'm a free thinker. The only thing that sways and changes my heart is the Holy Spirit. And I really feel deep down inside there's something behind this stuff that's taken place with all these airplanes crashes. I find it very fishy to say the least. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to kind of talk about the DC plane crash there. And now I kind of want to get into what happened in Philly. Now, I'm going to be going against the YouTube standard opinion here right now. So don't get mad at me, all right? Because you know that is a common occurrence here on this channel, is that we are going to go against mainly the YouTube standard opinion. What all the other channels are telling you usually is probably not the same thing that you're going to hear here. Okay. In anyways, so a lot of channels out there are saying that this could be a missile that took place in Philly. I don't believe it was a missile. Okay. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to share some one of my screens here with you. Give me a moment here. Right here, I think it is. Um, Wait a second. So this is what they're saying is the actual plane right here that was actually the one that crashed in Philly. It was an air ambulance. But one thing I found interesting is the number X on the beginning. And it was, I think it was Laura Loomer that reported this, that did this research. But she said if it has the letter X in the beginning of it, it actually is something that belongs to Mexico. Believe it or not, that it's something that it belongs to Mexico. So I find that really, really interesting to say the least. Hold on one second here. I'm trying to find something else. I want to share another screen with you real quick. Hold on one second. And in the crash site in Philly, all right, they actually found a piece of the plane that has that same call sign, the letters that were on that same plane right here that I just showed you. Okay. So we do have a confirmation that it was a plane. We do have a confirmation of what plane that it was. And but it's a Mexican air ambulance. Now, is this something that the cartel did? I mean, I am going to throw that idea out there in light of that information. Is this what was this a plane that was used as a missile to cause damage in Philly to show America how far the cartel's reach can be in causing destruction in the United States of America? I mean, that's just kind of my opinion. Like it possibly could be. That's just I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm just saying that's my idea of what this could mean as to why this air ambulance, fell from the sky as it did. I do have some videos to show you, and one of them slowed down, showing it's not a missile. You know what I mean? To kind of give you that idea. But I want to show you this real quick here. Now, some of these clips that I'm about to show, I cannot guarantee that there's not going to be any cussing or cursing or anything like that. I do know that one guy must be a Muslim because he's in there saying, the Muslim call of when bad things happen. You know what I'm saying? So there's probably some questionable words being spoken in some of these clips, but I didn't want to edit them and change them. I wanted to show you them as they were. So check this first one out. It's a little long, but he kind of runs up on the scene and he's showing the devastation of what happens right as it's taking place. And I'm telling you, regardless of what religion you are, this took guts.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Oh my God! Oh my God! La ilaha illallah! That's a plane, bro! That's a plane! I caught that on camera! Yo! Yo! Allahu Akbar! Yo! 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 Oh my God! La ilaha illallah! 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 Oh my God! What the hell? Yo! Oh my God! Allahu Akbar!
It's crazy. You know what I mean? And I don't agree with what he's saying, in the video, but you can see it's not some massive crater that would, what would happen if a missile hit in the street there. And they've even, shown drone footage this morning of what the site looks like. And there's no craters or anything like that. There is an impact point where, the plane initially did impact, and it's maybe the size of a kiddie pool or something like that. But that big of an explosion, if it was a missile, it would have left a dent in the earth, man. I'm telling you. And so I don't think it's a missile. Okay, I do think it's a plane, and I do have more footage to show you guys. Hold on one second. Check this one. And you can see right there in that video the chunk of the plane that has the call sign on it of the air ambulance that I showed you. So watch again and look in the lower part of the screen. You see that white piece of metal, and it's got the call letters for the air ambulance that's from Mexico.
What? What exploded? What exploded?
I don't know what the fuck happened.
I mean, absolute chaos. Absolute chaos. It is literally like a war zone. A absolute war zone right there in the middle of Philly. You know what I mean? Hey, Truth Seeker Jason, it's good to see you. Good to see you, Andrew. Good to see you, Deidre. Valley Watchman, Zealot for Christ. Absolutely, strange is the new normal. Stephen Fink, good to see you. Enrique, good to see you, buddy. Lady Girl, Karen, Lizzie B, good to see y'all. Sapphire Snowflakes, good to see ya. The suck has to stop. Yep, the enemy can't stand the truth. No, he can't. Amen to that. John Paul, good to see you. Hello, smell the roses. I agree. Brenda Epp, good to see you, sister. Tracy Wallace, good to see you. Angela, good to see you. Nelson, good to see you. Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't look like a missile. Definitely. Hello, Serena. Hello, Johnny. Hello, Jacob. Yep. Good to see you guys. Thank you, lady girl. Yeah, I appreciate all the prayers. Appreciate all the prayers. All right, here's another angle of the explosion when it took place. And I mean, like, debris went everywhere, dude. Everywhere. Hold on. My StreamYard has been messing up. I'll click on a video to play it, and it won't play, but the line will show up. And then, so I have to make sure it's playing. And, yep.
Oh, move! Michael, move! Move! We can't reflect it. Oh! I'm calling 911.
Yeah, I would be calling 911 right there, too. Now, here's the slow motion footage. Now, I will tell you that the audio on this is extremely high pitched because it's slowed down. So if you got to turn your volume down for this next clip, it's only 7 seconds, or plug your ears while it's playing because it is super high pitched. I didn't have time to edit it or edit the audio out or anything like that. I wanted to give it as it is, but it's a slowed down version of what is coming down. A lot of people said, well, it came down so fast, that it has to be a missile. No, man, this plane was in a nosedive. I mean, it was full tilt boogie heading towards the ground. Check this one out. And you can see the wings of the plane. I'll play it one more time for you. Yeah, absolutely terrible. And, there's a lot of different rumors about who was being medevaced, out of, because they just took off. It was something that happened when it just took off. Are they using some form of a weapon to try to take planes out of the sky? Because, remember, I'm going to show you real quick what happened in Alaska just before the helicopter DC crash and plane crash in DC. So, and the pilot was able to eject out of that before it fully came down. But this is strange, man. This stuff doesn't just start happening like this, like dominoes, falling one right after the other. And something Brother Jason pointed out to me was, that in the movie Knowing, which I actually have the movie. It's not right next to me, so I'm not going to reach out and grab it. But in the movie Knowing, one of the dates is today, February 1st, 2025. So is there something that's going to happen today? I don't know. Or is this a date that means something is about to change after this date? I don't know. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you, folks, they got plenty of movies out there that predict planes crashing, and that's kind of what did happen in the movie Knowing. Is out of nowhere a plane crashes right in front of these cars, and then in the movie Leave the World Behind, this happened. And I find it interesting that before the airplane crashes start taking place, because you can see that there was more than one airplane crash in the movie Leave the World Behind. Okay, there was more than one airplane crash, because when he's going out to the beach and he's looking around, he's seeing the debris of an airplane crash that had just happened. And then an airplane crash comes in. So multiple airplane crashes are taking place in the movie. All right. But before that, barges were running ashore on land, and they said that it was happening all over. If you go back to the movie and they're talking, I think it's to a security guard, and they ask him what's going on, after this oil tanker, comes up on shore, the White Lion. All right. When this oil tanker comes up on shore, they're leaving the beach, and they asked the security guard what's going on. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I think it's happening all over, and then for a while there, we were having all these barges hitting stuff. It was happening in China and happening in America. It took out a bridge here in America, so I find it kind of interesting. The Obamas come out with this movie, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, barges start hitting different stuff, and then planes are falling out of the sky, and then this is becoming a regular thing. And it wasn't too long ago, and I got to be careful what I say here, and I'm going to use the word cancer now, all right, and I want you to remember that word that I just said, and then I'm going to put the word doctors with it, all right. And I'm going to say that in Florida there was a plane that just dropped out of the sky in Florida that had those people on it that went boom, boom, kaboom, and they were making all sorts of progress forward in that department. You know what I mean? I hope you can put those pieces together properly. You know what I mean? And so, I think that what's going on is just extremely fishy. And I'm telling you, anybody that's telling you that this is completely normal, I'll be honest with you. I mean, there's a lot of people that lost my respect. I'm not going to lie. I'm not mad at anybody, and nobody that I go on their channels am I talking about. I'm not talking about any of my brothers in Christ that I associate with online, but I am talking about some people that could be associated with them. Lost a lot of respect for some people with this DC helo crash that took place, because it's absolutely sketchy. And yeah, Daniel Morris, that same movie came to mind, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, or Trains, Planes, and Automobiles, however it goes. But yeah, that was a classic movie. But yeah, I think it also, like John Paul, you have a point, and I think that there was someone else that brought it up too, is that that this kind of signifies, and I think they're preparing the world, getting the idea that things are just going to drop out of the sky, or things are just going to randomly crash, because that way they have something to kind of explain away, when Christians are taken. You know what I mean? Oh, this has happened before. This is normal, right? So I think you make a good point, John Paul. Yes, just a bird. The Obamas are absolutely sketchy. Nothing about them is legit. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and if you feel that this is normal, it's totally up to you. It's between you and the Lord. Yeah, I'm not easily swayed. I'm not easily swayed. I want to see facts. I want to see documentation. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not going to. I'll look it up on Google. Hold on, 1 second, Enrique. Um, Give me a moment here. Yeah, so give me a moment. I'm going to share my screen here. And if you look right here, they do have a Black Helicopters card. Says, there goes another one, Ma. Better check the cattle. But yeah, so they do have a Black Helicopters card. And I know that it wasn't too long ago that, DARPA and Lockheed Martin and all them come out with, the pilotless, driverless Black Hawk helicopter. I will show that video again because I think that plays a key role in what happened in DC. I'm not going to lie. And they're all about testing their capabilities in the public eye. They want to test their capabilities in the public eye because they need to be able to convince people of things. And usually when they're trying to convince you of one thing, they're trying to convince you of 3 or 4 things all at once. It's kind of usually a multi-pronged psyop attack that takes place, when you see those sort of things happen. You know what I mean? When this kind of stuff takes place. But I'll show you this video real quick of the pilotless Black Hawk helicopters.
Your eyes are not playing tricks on you. There's no pilot inside this helicopter. It's 2022, so let's face it, we're used to seeing all types of vehicles operate themselves. From cars to boats, drones, even motorcycles. But some people might say there's something a little ominous about seeing a military-grade helicopter flying without a pilot. This is part of a project from Lockheed Martin's subsidiary, Sikorsky, and DARPA. Now, if you're not familiar with DARPA, it's a research and development agency for the U.S. Department of Defense. And according to DARPA, this marked the first time a Black Hawk helicopter flew without anyone on board.
It's a little more ominous to see a Black Hawk helicopter without a pilot in it and a sticker on the side that says DARPA. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, whether you want to believe me or not, DARPA is the mad scientists of the military-industrial complex. They are absolutely nuts. Well, before we get off of here, I have one more clip that I want to show you, all right? And I'll end the show with this clip, so I'll be able to say goodbye now. This is an important clip. You don't want to miss what this guy has to say. I promise you this. But, it's been fun. My voice is getting a little raspy, so I'm not going to stay on here too long. 34 minutes, you know what I mean? It's kind of small video compared to what I do usually. But, I will be back on. I'm going to be doing more videos, because I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you so much for the prayers, everybody. It really means a lot. But, I pray that y'all have a blessed day. I pray that Jesus is with you. I pray that you guys keep your eyes out, for what's going on. Pay attention to the details. You know what I mean? And you don't have to take people's word for anything. Let things unfold a couple of days before you look at it and say, I want to see more evidence. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I do. I never want to. I mean, I've been sometimes the first to, a situation where I'm, reporting news, before supposedly anybody else did, and it doesn't change anything, So I like to wait a couple of days and let things kind of come out a little bit. So I am going to end with this video today. It's a 56-second video. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching this, and I hope you guys, can make up your own minds, and you don't have to believe what you're being told by those who are, trained to follow orders. You know what I mean? Because not all the time are they going to lead you down the right path. Let your gut instincts lead you, and most of all, let the Holy Spirit lead you. May God bless you all, and may He keep you. And please don't forget to go out and change this world in which you live.
Longer for that investigation to start, but they're very methodical in the way that they investigate these things.
They are indeed, and thank goodness for their investigations. And thank goodness for you, Jonathan Gilliam. Great to have you with us as always. And I'm sorry we are doing this again, just 48 hours after you and I were talking about the crash in DC. Jonathan,
Can I say
thank
one more
you
thing
so
to
much.
you? Can I say one more thing to you?
Real quick, Jonathan. Yeah.
one thing, I don't want to scare anybody, but one thing is very peculiar, because I thought this was the case and I looked it up, is that these types of accidents, it will often happen in threes or more. So it would not surprise me if within the next month, we have another accident.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope you are wrong on that. We will keep our fingers crossed for everybody flying, obviously. Jonathan Gilliam, thank you so much. Kevin?